Hello. Now we are going to demonstrate how much will be the intra-syringe pressure when we are inflating a 8.0 number cuffed endotracheal tube, and whether the inflation volume can be delivered within 1 second using a syringe, and whether it can be replicated by using a ventilation circuit of an anesthesia workstation or a mechanical ventilator. Yeah. Now I will just explain you the pieces which we have got. This is a manometer which is having a scale in the centimeters of water: 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 and 120. This is a stopwatch, and this is a 8 number endotracheal tube having an inflatable lumen which is having a approximately 1 millimeter lumen extending all the way till the cuff, which will be inflating and sealing inside the trachea. This is a PVC model which will be resembling a normal trachea having an internal diameter of 25 millimeter. Okay, this is a bivalve which is also called the three-way valve. Here we will be having a 2 female ports and 1 male port, and the male port will be connected with the inlet port of the inflation lumen, and the one of the female port will be connected to the manometer, and the third port will be used for the syringe for inflation. So it will be transmitting the pressure inside the syringe to the manometer, and we will be able to see the real time intra-syringe pressure. Okay, so first we will see how much pressure is needed, how much volume of air is needed to bring the intra-cuff pressure to 30 centimeter of water. I am starting with 15 ml of air in the syringe. I am just inflating slowly, gradually. Now you can see the cuff is getting inflated here. When we are giving it gradually over maybe 5 to 7 seconds, when we are giving a 9 cc of air, 9 cc of air is inflated, then we are having a cuff pressure of 30 centimeter of water. But when we are going to give a positive pressure ventilation, we will need to give this entire volume. If we need to connect this to the ventilation circuit, and the inspiratory phase will be only 1 to 1.33 second. Within that 1 to 1.33 second, this entire 9 ml of air should go into the cuff. Then only the cuff will be inflating and it will be sealing the tracheal lumen. So we will see whether we can really give that amount of 9 cc of air within 1 second. And if we are able to do that, what will be the intra-syringe pressure? That will give us an indicator whether it is realistically possible to achieve the cuff ventilation using a mechanical ventilator or an anesthesia workstation. Okay. Now I am starting the stopwatch, and now the sphygmomanometer is 0, and the cuff pressure is equal to the atmospheric pressure. Now I am taking 9 cc of air. So this entire 9 cc should go inside 1 second, and when that is being done, how much is the pressure we will be able to see. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am deflating it now. Once again we are now in 0. Now I am just once again going to give 9 cc of air. It is deflated. Now it is 0 once again. Once again I am going to give that 9 cc of air within 1 second. Once again I am doing the same, repeating it. So we can see that if we have to give the 9 cc of air into the cuff within 1 second, the peak pressure always reaches more than 120 centimeter of water, often up to much more beyond that, possibly up to 150 also. So now we can see what is the realistic intra-cuff pressure which can be achieved by a ventilation circuit, which will be anesthesia workstation or a mechanical ventilator. So now we will try to achieve the 30 centimeter pressure mark in 1 second, and we will see how much air we are actually able to give. We can see that if we are achieving a peak pressure of only 25 to 30 centimeter of water, we are able to inject only maximum of 1.5 to 2 cc of air into this cuff. So it means that if we are going to connect this inflation lumen to a ventilation circuit, we can at the most deliver only 1.5 to 2 cc of air inside this cuff, which will be definitely be insufficient to maintain a proper airway seal. Thank you.